December 25th, 2014. Christmas time, and the day that a ton of people around the world would finally be able to get their hands on a next generation game console, the PS4 or the Xbox One. I don't count the Wii U. I myself got a PlayStation 4 and immediately began unboxing the system and setting it up. It's a Christmas morning I'm likely never gonna forget. I signed into my account, only to find this. Unfortunately for people setting up their shiny new PS4s or Xbox Ones, the servers for both were being hit with DDoS attacks. This was a lot of people's first experience with the 8th generation of consoles, and unfortunately, it was something that was kind of recurring at this point. The group responsible was the infamous Lizard Squad. This name might sound kind of familiar to some of you. They were a hacking group notorious for bringing down the servers of many online games a couple years back, and these guys were an absolute force to be reckoned with. However, in the past couple of years, their activity has seemingly stopped. You really haven't seen them in the news lately, which got me thinking, what have they been up to? Let's start this off with a quick history lesson on who they were and what they did. Lizard Squad was a hacking group that primarily specialized in disrupting large gaming services with the occasional step outside of that. They were primarily Black Hat hackers. Black Hat hackers are people who hack specifically for either their own personal gain or to prove a point. This could mean anything from holding personal data for ransom, to stealing confidential data, to outright destroying files just because they can or for a profit. They specialized in DDoS attacks. For those who don't speak Moonbrain, a DDoS attack is typically when the attacker floods the targeted machine using tons of different sources in an attempt to overload the targeted system. The reason this attack was so effective was because unlike something like a DOS attack, there's so many sources that you can't just block one and have it all stop. The other sources will continuously flood the target. This resulted in most of the attacks that they're famous for. Nothing was known about them until the 18th of August 2014. This is their earliest known activity and, according to Google, the date of their creation. And, as all great stories start, it starts with League of Legends. That day they tweeted out, League of Legends NA, #offline, taking responsibility for League of Legends servers being down that day. About 4 hours later that very same day, they reportedly took down the servers of RuneScape as well. The day after that, they took responsibility for an attack on Riot Games. Now some of you might be thinking, so what? Just a couple of gaming services being down for like a day? I don't see why they're so notorious. Well, you start to see why on the 24th of August. They posted a tweet stating, "We're putting a bunch of lizards in the pipes on their way to Sony." Later that day they tweeted out, "Today we planted the ISIS flag on @Sony servers. #ISIS, #jihad." And of course, PSN was down. This day ended up being very eventful for them because a couple hours later, they tweeted that there were explosives aboard an American Airlines flight containing president of Sony Online Entertainment, John Smedley. This led to the flight being grounded in Phoenix, Arizona instead of its original destination of San Diego, California. And if August 24th just didn't have enough going on, later that very same day, they tweeted out asking if anyone was having any issues with the Xbox Live login servers. A very obvious allusion to the fact that those servers were now down too. Later they tweeted out that Kuffar, meaning non-Muslims, would be unable to play any video games until the bombing of the Islamic State gets stopped. Lastly, they tweeted at the FBI, pretty much just taunting them. Throughout the next couple of weeks, they would proceed to attack multiple games from both Activision and EA, such as Destiny, Call of Duty Ghost, FIFA, Madden, and Sims 4. Then, on the 3rd of September, these guys had apparently disbanded. I found a backup of their statement which reads, "Little thieves are hanged, but great ones escape." God, that first little quote just shows you how fucking self-aggrandizing these dudes are. Like, bro, we get it, you didn't just pull like the bank heist of the fucking century. You took down a couple services and like minorly inconvenienced most people at this point. We set out on our journey 2 weeks ago with the plan to wreak havoc within the gaming community. Our motives varied throughout this adventure. Originally, it was to see if we could evade being caught and to experience the raw thrill of anarchy, not being bound to any phony laws. We even called everything from an organized criminal gang to complete assholes. Really, we're just a bunch of guys with too much free time. People tried taking swings at us, and missed. We proved that even though we are very little in this very big world, that a small group of friends who work together can cause a lot of havoc without any legal repercussion. Today we will be disbanding. Behind the green reptiles and other bullshit, we have lives, believe it or not. Things to do, people to meet. Goodbye. And, after that dumpster fire of a statement, they kept to their word and stopped their attacks on online video games. Until they, like people with lives, came back, claiming responsibility for a Destiny server outage. And if that wasn't enough, Xbox Live went down on December 1st, Machinima, God, remember Machinima? Had their front page replaced with ASCII art of their logo, and on December 8th, PlayStation Network was down, yet again. After that, all of North Korea's internet was somehow taken down by them. How the f*** do you do that? And now, we're at what you probably clicked on this video to hear about. On December 25th, 2014, as I and many other people just got their shiny new 8th generation consoles, the servers for both PSN and XBLA were both being hit with DDoS attacks. I swear, when the servers came back after like several days, immediately people were throwing around threats of DDoSing you over game chat. So what was their reasoning for these attacks, you might be asking? One of their supposed reasons was to raise awareness about the cost of cybersecurity and how little Sony and Microsoft spend on their servers despite their fees. And another reason was to get kids off their consoles and to spend time with their families on Christmas. Definitely a better reason than the raw thrill of anarchy. It's been said that the attack stopped after Kim.com, creator of Mega, offered them 3,000 premium accounts for the service. Afterwards, PSN and Xbox Live both came back within the next couple of days. In their last bit of newsworthy activity, they reportedly took credit for an attack on Instagram, Facebook, and Tinder. However, it wasn't an actual attack. Facebook was simply correcting an error. The next day, they claimed to have compromised Taylor Swift's accounts, claiming to have nudes. However, Taylor Swift herself responded stating there were absolutely no nudes to be found. Imagine striking out twice in a row. Malaysia Airlines was their next victim, and this one actually happened. On the 26th of January, they took down Malaysia Airlines' website, replacing it with a picture of their logo with the caption 404 plane not found. This was obviously in reference to the missing Flight 370, my absolute favorite punchline in Quiplash. They also participated in numerous attacks that got less media attention, such as the 2019 attacks on Call of Duty Modern Warfare, citing it as a terrible game. Kinda true on launch, as well as Fortnite and the Labour Party of Britain. No one cared because it was Britain, by the way. Fortnite was also one of the only times that they complimented security team, calling Epic Games unbeatable. Their last rumored activity was when Lynn Wood, an American lawyer, tweeted about a Lizard Squad stealing evidence of a global sex ring. However, it's completely unproven whether or not it's the same group. I'd also like to mention a theory that's out there, that Lizard Squad assisted North Korea. In 2014, Sony was hacked by North Korea due to their upcoming Seth Rogen and James Franco movie, The Interview. That movie, even though it's a comedy, is extremely critical of North Korea and its practices, featuring a very unfavorable depiction of leader Kim Jong-un. This is part of an article posted by Vox and has little to no evidence surrounding it. I just wanted to mention it just in case a commenter does. Also, their supposed hack of all of North Korea's internet services the very same day, on top of other cases of hard-hitting journalism by Vox, make this one kind of unbelievable. By the way, The Interview is an absolute banger. I stand Dave Skylark. One of the main aspects of Lizard Squad's fade out of the public eye was just how much cybersecurity has advanced over these past couple of years, especially from these gaming companies. Now, most of the time PSN or Xbox are down, it's either Sony or Microsoft themselves who pull the plug, or if they aren't, no groups have really come forward and taken credit for it in the same way Lizard Squad did. Hell, recently Hypixel and a ton of other Minecraft servers were being DDoSed, and I haven't really seen anyone come out and say, yeah, it was us. Other than Anonymous, these guys were kind of the poster boys for hacking back then, doing it in kind of a showboaty way. Another aspect of their fall was rival group Finest Squad. They joined Twitter in response to the December 1st hack of Xbox Live, and took down Lizard Squad's website, got their Twitter at the time banned, and on the 22nd, had a little discussion with them on Drama Alert.
Apparently you don't know what the fuck that is, because that's what we did. We pointed fake records to a fucking Ecotel server, and an OVH server, and a DreamHost server, and he routed the wrong connection. Obviously you guys could see the IP from our current servers on OVH.
Huh? Is that why your site got removed? Is that why your site was offline?
My site was offline for what? 2 hours?
7 hours?
And it's back on right now. Has the new one ever been offline? Has the new one ever been offline? No, it has never been off.
In some of their last known activity to coincide with the December 25th hack of PSN and Xbox Live, Finest Squad put up a website with their IP addresses and their Skype accounts. However, their leader ended up being arrested in 2015 due to swatting, so really, it's like rooting for a drunk driver instead of a murderer. Lastly, 4 of Lizard Squad's members were caught and sentenced. Among these are Zachary Bukta, also known as @FBI_Losers and @Zodapoodle, Julius Kivamaki, known as @Zkill, as well as Bradley Jen Willem Van Roy, otherwise known as Uchiha. Bukta had to pay $350,000 to both Blizzard and Riot Games, while also being charged with stealing credit cards, and also having a service where he would call a target once an hour threatening them. He was also sentenced to 3 months in prison and cried when sentenced. On top of that, he became a snitch and led to several of his friends being arrested. You can't make this shit up, man. I can't find anything on Bradley, and Julius Kivamaki never once saw the inside of a jail cell, but did get a 2-year suspended sentence with monitored internet. Honestly though, no matter how seemingly irrelevant these guys are nowadays, they had a massive impact during their prime. People were discussing them a ton on YouTube and Twitter, there were multiple groups who did the exact same thing, random kids would claim to be a part of them, and it even got to a point where Futuristic Hub made a rap about them, and if I had to see it, you get to as well.
Look at me, I'm a lizard, a big fat gizzard like my belly cause I'm a big fat yeah. Not it isn't sticks or someone who sucks dicks, but the FGT speaks freely of me.
Before I end off the video, I just wanted to say that I miss this kind of stuff. Not as in the bomb threats to the ISIS flags, but I miss how exciting the internet used to be. Look at what we have right now, and compare that to an airplane literally being diverted because of some edgy little shits on a couple of computers. Say what you want about that being morally wrong because, well, of course it is. But honestly, it's so much more interesting than seeing a f***ing Minecraft YouTuber getting cancelled and bending over, letting it happen. Might be kind of a hot take, but I just think it's more interesting to see on the timeline. In conclusion, fuck these guys. They ruined my Christmas over half a decade ago. I really wish I had more to say to end this video off, but they're not really around anymore, so get fucked. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Like it if you like it, dislike it if you didn't. DDoS me if you really didn't. I have a Twitter, second channel, and a Twitch if you want to go follow those. And I will see you in the next video. Peace, peace.